The overarching idea of who's your farmer really came into the forefront. We started to hear it more and more on our trip, but it's just this idea of, doesn't matter if it's like, labeled organic or whatever labeling, if they're certified or not. There are farmers out there who are not certified, who are doing sustainable practices.
When I look at this, I'm like, this could be healthier than an organic farm.
Oh yeah, I actually sometimes feel, depending on where you go, I think it actually all depends on who you know. You need to know your farmer. They don't need to have a label. They don't need to have a certifying body. They don't need to belong to an organization. There's nothing like that needs to be other than you knowing where your food comes from. So if you can go to the farmer and say, yeah, this is where I get my pork chops, that's all you need. Because you can see it, and you're part of it, and it's different.
A farmer may be farming sustainably and organically, but they might just not be under that label. So it's good to know your farmer, because they might be doing that already, but they're not going to front the money and the process it takes to get to that label. And another thing that we took away from the Who's Your Farmer kind of quotation is that the cavers really take their livestock from the moment they get it as like chicks or a small animal all the way through to the process of slaughtering them and butchering them. They slaughter off site, but then they have their own processing plant on their property. So we got the honor of seeing their processing plant and just really knowing where that food was coming from every step of the way. We ate with them for every meal for a couple of days, and it was just nice to see the whole thing.
And then with the meat we had, with our pork, we made dumplings as like everyone in the family together. It was really fun to do. The recipe came from these travelers from China who had come to visit the farm, and so they passed down the recipe, which I also think is really cool about the cavers. They're just very worldly citizens. Sometimes if they're not able to travel, and you're living in a rural area and their kids stay close to home for now, and they really just are open to having the world come to them, which can only enrich your life, in my opinion.
It's great hanging out with their family too. That's a nice thing, is you get to live a day in the life of someone else's family. And they've got a really awesome way of looking at life.
Healthy land, healthy animals, good food for good people.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
kind
of where we...
Because there's lots of parts that matter to us that aren't just the people buying the food, Then the healthy land and us as a family and how we are as a unit is also, everything is equal in our little world that we built for ourselves. So having healthy food to feed to people is really important, but then having time with our kids and doing what we do as a family is important, and teaching people how to do it is important, and then the livestock and being healthy.
Everybody needs to know something. As long as somebody knows something in your circle of people, not everyone's going to know how to raise animals, but if you know how to grow tomatoes, you might know somebody who really grows broccoli well, and within a group of people you can feed each other. What a fantastic way to share.
And I have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you were any farm animal, what farm animal would you be?
I would be probably a pig.
And how come?
Because of all the animals on our farm, particularly, they're the ones that we leave alone the most. They get just as much time and as much freedom as they want.
And then the next day, when we were planning on leaving,
nowhere to go.
Where we were going.
Yep.
So we got up in the morning and we decided we were going to leave, but we didn't know where our next stop was.